Hi everyone, my name is Josh and I'm very excited to share a Gourmet guide with you, a recipe library and grocery planner app, and our final project with Command Shift. Gourmet Guide is a web app built with Create React app that allows users to curate their own personal workbook with a collection of their favorite recipes. For this project, we drew inspiration from this real estate project and continued to build on ideas and functionalities that we felt were important to the user. Gourmet Guide is made up of 4 primary features: create a recipe, cookbook, homepage, and login logout. As you'll soon see for yourself, the Create a Recipe form allows its users to create and add recipes to their homepage. The Create form has many different inputs for the user and allows them to enter fields such as ingredients, instructions, and even dietary requirements. On the homepage, the user will be able to visualize each recipe that is added and has the option to learn more about a recipe, add to cookbook, or delete recipe. There is also a sidebar that allows the users to sort, search, and filter from their recipes. The cookbook is a page that contains all of the user's favorite recipes and contains an option to display a grocery list for each recipe. Gourmet Guide also comes equipped with a login feature that allows the user to have full access to the app. Upon logging in, the user will have full access to the recipes on their homepage and their cookbook. I'll pass it on to Benj, who will discuss some of our back-end technologies in depth.
Hi, I'm Benj, and I'm going to take you through the initial stages of our app. Here, as you can see, is the home page without logging in. Here we can see some predefined recipes we've had set previously. So let's go ahead and create an account. So if we head to login, head to sign up, and input an email and password, and hit sign up, and we can see our account has been created successfully, and it's redirects us back to the login page, where if we input the email and password we just had, hit login, we can see it's successful, and we are now navigated to the cookbook. As you can see, it's currently empty, so let's add a recipe. So if we navigate to the create a recipe, we're given a form to fill in. So as you can see, I've populated the required fields. We have a title, we have a drop down for specified cuisines, any dietary requirements, and the functionality to add or remove as many ingredients as necessary. In this instance, let's just remove red pepper flakes. We have a text field where the user can input all the instructions, a prep time, a cooking time, and servings. And once these are all been populated, we go ahead and add, and we can see the recipe has been added successfully. So if we navigate back to the home page, we can see that our pizza has been added here. So let's go ahead and add that to the cookbook. For our backend, we use Node.js as our runtime environment, as its ability to handle concurrent connections was pivotal. This was guided by Express as our framework, which is intuitive routing, middleware integration, and API request management proved to create a resilient backend services. For data management, we opted for MongoDB and Firebase. MongoDB excelled in storing adaptable JSON recipe data and was easily accessible by all those involved with the project. And for Firebase, it elevated the user authentication and gave us a seamless sign-in, login, and user access process. The communication between our app and external services was enabled by Axios, which made handling create, read, update, and delete requests with ease. And while we were testing, we used Postman to run our requests to troubleshoot any potential problems we faced prior to deployment. And last but not least, by employing JavaScript throughout the entire stack, we achieved consistency and streamlined development, resulting in a cohesive and responsive application. So if we take a look into the back end of our code, we can see here that we're importing the necessary modules. The application is initialized using Express and listens on port 4000. Middleware is used to handle the cross-origin resource sharing and parsing JSON data. A MongoDB connection is established using the provided MongoDB URI, and the mongoose schemas for recipe and favorites are defined, which outline the structure of the data. Here we can see the CRUD operations are defined for both recipes and favorites, and similar routes are created for managing favorites, including adding, fetching, and deleting. The server is set to listen to the specific port and console log indicating that the server is running.
Here are some of the front-end technologies we use to build Gourmet Guide. As I mentioned earlier, this app was created with Create React app and uses many different functionalities that React has to offer. Let's take a closer look at some of these front-end technologies in action. This is the homepage, which contains some of the primary functionalities of our app. As you can see here, there's a number of recipes that are pre-rendered for the user that they can access. If we click here on this magnifying glass icon, it will reveal a hidden sidebar component, which contains a lot of parameters that the user can use to sort and filter their recipes. We can even use the search bar here to search for a specific recipe. There. The Learn More button on the recipe card displays a list that is generated from the Create a Recipe form. Here you can see ingredients, instructions, prep time, cooking time, and servings. We can also click the Add to Cookbook button to add the recipe to our cookbook, and likewise we can remove it from our cookbook with a tap of a button by pressing it again. We can also press the Delete button here to remove a recipe from our library, but I want to keep salmon, so I'm going to leave it. The home component is more than just an attractive display that empowers our users with interactive features. They can filter recipes by cuisine or dietary needs and sort by prep or cooking time. The magic happens here with React hooks, where we use useState for managing state and useEffect for fetching data. Axios handles our API requests, ensuring smooth data exchange between our app and our server. We've imported sidebar and recipe card at the top here as separate components that work together to create our homepage. As you can see, we've had a lot of use from React functionalities. This code snippet here is a critical part of our recipe filtering and sorting functionality. It handles changes in filters such as cuisine, dietary requirements, and sorting options. When a user selects a filter or sorting preference, the code efficiently updates the state to reflect the new selection. It also triggers the update of the displayed recipes, ensuring that the user immediately sees the desired results. Additionally, this code snippet skillfully integrates with our URL update mechanism, ensuring that the browser URL reflects the chosen filters and sorting, making it very easy for users to bookmark or share specific views. And our app's core interface is returned here. The sidebar, triggered by our magnifying glass button, which filters and sorts recipes, and our recipe card, which are displayed in a dynamic grid, which each recipe card offering options like deletion and add to cookbook. As you can see here, we pass in our props to each of their appropriate components. Lastly, I'd like to shine a spotlight on our recipe card styling. Our CSS design tailored for the recipe card blends style with user usability. Our recipe card flaunts an elegant layout thanks to flex display and alignment. Subtle box shadow adds depth, making each card pop, and our font weight and color choices boost readability and echo our vibrant theme. But it's not just about looks for us. The styling adapts the screen seamlessly by using M for paddings and margins, and rems for font sizes, and picks for small things like box shadow. In a nutshell, our CSS styling for recipe cards exemplifies our user-centric design across the app, which results in an engaging and visually pleasing experience for our users.
Okay, so we're going to jump straight into the code base here. As you can see, we've imported our necessary dependencies, use state and effect for managing state and effects, and we've also imported Axios to manage those API requests. Further down here, we are using two functions here, the handle remove and the fetch recipes as well. So the fetch recipes function performs a get request to the API endpoint, and then the fetch data is stored in the recipe state, and we map over this array to display individual recipe components. The handle remove function allows users to remove recipes, and then when the user clicks the remove button, the function sends a delete request to the API and effectively removes the selected recipe. And the grocery list function manages the expansion and collapse of the ingredients. And then just below that, we have all the CSS classes for styling. Classes like cookbook container, recipe row are used to structure and style our components. And here we just have that grocery list implemented as well. Hi guys, my name's Dave. I'm here to talk about the cookbook portion of our web application Gourmet Guide. On the previous video, you would have seen that Benj discussed creating an account, signing in, and also creating a recipe as well, and adding that to the recipes list here. What that will now enable us to do is have our own personalized cookbook where you can store any sort of recipes that you'd like. And coming back onto here, all we need to do is just click this Add Cookbook button here, and then we just come back onto Cookbook. And as you can see here, we can now just click the Show List, and that just lists all the ingredients here that are required for the dishes. And also if you need them while you go shopping or anything like that, they're there and easily accessible. And then when you finish with them, or you no longer require them on the cookbook, a nice, simple and easy remove button there. And lastly, I just wanted to touch on some of the problems and challenges that we came across and what we used to help with them. Short time scales, we did feel the pressure of the time for this, and we were stuck for the time as well. We implemented Asana to kind of help plan and create structure. Building an API, we were just unsure what we were doing, and it required a bit of rewriting here and there, and that took up quite a bit of time as well. The must versus the shoulds, prioritising what was most important. We use Miro for brainstorming and collaborating on ideas to come together, and then we just really needed to nail that down a little bit more. Testing, we require a little bit more testing to be implemented throughout. It was just something we didn't get round to. And for the design, we kind of updated it along the way. We did initially use Figma to create the ideas on the overall design of the application, and then these sort of changed as time went on. Looking back, we would have, if we'd had more time, added more information on the recipes, allergies, nutritional info, images against each recipe itself, alternative recommendations and other suggestions, more sign-up options, and the ability to share recipes and view friends' cookbooks, and users can create a weekly meal planner as well.
That's all from us. We'd like to thank Command Shift and all the tutors who have helped us and supported us, not just on this project, but throughout the course. And if you'd like to get in touch, you can find our emails and GitHub accounts on screen. Thank you.